In this episode, we're talking to Noah and Colton about a place called White Sands, New Mexico, and the adventures that some kids had there during the Ice Age. Take it away, guys.
Hi, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Hi, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
For 300,000 years, modern humans have met challenges with ingenuity and creativity.
Every living person today is a testament to their survival.
But how did it happen?
What were their lives like?
Join us as we explore the world that existed before us.
Kids!
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
It is a fantastic night tonight, and I am so excited to get to talk to y'all. Noah, are you excited?
Yes.
Colton, how are you doing?
Good.
I have a really cool thing to talk to you guys about tonight.
What is it?
What is it? Well, all right. Noah, this is your first time on the podcast,
Yeah.
and I know that you love animals.
Yes.
Yes. So, what if we talk about something that involves mammoths,
Whoa.
lions,
Whoa.
sloths,
Whoa.
and camels?
Whoa.
All right.
Camels.
So, camels,
Camels.
camels. What's a camel?
You said it.
I said a camel.
Oh.
You know, the thing goes.
But Dad, you said camel. There you said camel.
Camel.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is something that is really, really, really cool. Have you ever heard of a place called White Sands National Monument?
No.
Yes.
It's in North America.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. And it's a really neat place. A long time ago, at the end of the Pleistocene, right? So we're talking about like the end of the Ice Age. That area was one gigantic lake. And it attracted so many animals to
Like
it.
woolly mammoths.
Well, not a woolly mammoth, the cousin of a woolly mammoth. Have you ever heard of the cousin of the woolly mammoth?
Yeah, an Asian elephant?
That's the modern day descendant of the woolly mammoth. We're talking about the Columbian mammoth. Colton, have you ever heard of the Columbian mammoth?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Columbian mammoth?
It was bigger than
It was.
the woolly mammoth.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes no sense because I saw it that the woolly mammoths were the biggest elephants on the world.
Well, the woolly mammoths were very, very large, but they weren't the largest. So the Columbian mammoths would have been about as tall as a 2-story building. They were really, really tall.
That's so cool.
2 levels. Yeah, right? And you know what else is really interesting about
No.
the Columbian mammoths?
No?
They didn't have very much hair on them. So they had a little bit of hair, but not a lot. So think about this big, semi-hairless mammoth.
Like you.
I'm not a big semi-hairless mammoth.
But you have a little hair and you have hair.
Thanks, Noah. So these Columbian mammoths were cruising around the edge of this lake 20,000 years ago.
20,000 years ago.
20,000 years ago. And do you know what else was cruising around the
No.
edge of this lake? Lions.
Whoa.
American lions. And do you know how big an American lion was?
No?
The American lion was bigger than the lions that we have in Africa. I mean, these things were enormous going around.
That's so big.
They're so big.
It's good that I wasn't there.
Well, we're going to get to the people in a second. Guess what else they know was roaming around?
Woolly mammoths?
Well, we talked about the mammoths, right? Not the woolly mammoths. Camels. Camels were all over North America during the Pleistocene and at the end of the Ice Age. And these camels probably look just like the camels that we see today.
Oh, hi, I'm a camel. I'm really cold here. I have nothing to keep me warm. Bye.
Is that your camel?
Yeah.
I like your camel impression. And they also had giant sloths. Giant sloths were enormous. They were like the size of a car. And they kind of like lumber around, and they were in the water and eating the grasses and everything. Now, do you want to know the coolest, craziest part about all of this stuff?
What?
People were walking around all of these animals 20,000 years ago around Lake Otero.
But they didn't care about the lions.
Well, we don't know. I mean, it was just life for these people. And what we know, what we have, what we see is their footprints. That's why we know that there were camels. That's why we know that there were sloths and lions and these big Colombian mammoths, is we have all of their footprints preserved in the ground.
I have a question.
Yeah.
But like, if I do a footprint, the wind just blows it away.
Well, think about a footprint in kind of muddy ground. And when you step into the mud, what happens?
It stays there.
It stays there. And if the footprint then gets covered over by dirt really quickly, it has a higher possibility of actually being preserved. And here at this location, along what was the edge of the lake, they found lots and lots of these footprints. It's such a cool place. Now, let's take a short break, and in part 2, we're going to explore some of the tiniest footprints that have been found. You're not going to want to miss it. It's super cool. Hello, parents. Dr. Eric here. If you've got an aspiring adventurer at home who's loving this episode, then you won't want to miss all our amazing exclusive content that's waiting for you on our Patreon. By subscribing, you'll get early access to brand new episodes, bonus episodes bursting with extra fun facts. And if you or your kiddo has a burning question for a real-life archaeologist, yeah, that's me. I'll personally answer it. But here's the coolest part. Subscribers can suggest future episodes and even be a part of them. That's right, your kids can be a part of the adventure too. I love chatting with curious kids of all ages, and learning about our past will be so much fun. Your support helps us continue to provide more exciting content about our world, now and before us. Thanks for being part of the adventure. And now, let's dive into a new story from Science Tales for Curious Minds. The little girl walked over to her big sister, looking for her most special, most prized possession. It was a small doll that her mother had made for her out of twigs. Her mother had split the twigs in half, soaked them in water, and bent them around to form arms, legs, and a cute little head, which were then bound with long blades of dried grass to keep everything in place. The little girl, who was not more than 3 years old, adored this doll and took it everywhere, including to the edge of the lake earlier that day. The lake was not far away, less than 20 minutes to the north across the flat, sandy ground. This time of year, though, there was lots of mud and puddles from rain that made the trip a little bit more challenging. Earlier that day, the little girl, her big sister, and other friends and family members had all gone down to the lake. There they spent several hours collecting water, plants for food, as well as washing themselves. It had been a very pleasant day. The sound of lions in the distance, however, cut short their playtime. Lions were common in the area. So were big and scary wolves, saber-toothed cats, enormous lumbering sloths, camels, the stocky mastodons who kept close to trees and shrubs, and roaming herds of towering mammoths, hulking creatures easily twice the height of her father. But now, in the middle of the night, the little girl had only just realized that she left her doll next to a bush where her family had been sitting. Now granted, she had spent a lot of time making a very nice play campsite for the little doll. But now, at nighttime, she thought the doll must be so frightened to be out there, all alone. And the little girl was frightened too without her doll. She looked at her big sister now, pleading with teary eyes to help her get her doll back. Standing up with a big sigh, she picked up the little girl and positioned her on her left hip. The night was still and clear. Soft silvery moonlight illuminated puddles of water, the gentle rolling sands, and the bushes that dotted them. The sisters both knew exactly where to go, but now they stood at the edge of their camp, apprehensive. Was it safe to go? Night times were scary, and even their short trek to the lake could be dangerous. The little girl whimpered, and that was enough for her big sister to know how much this meant to the little girl, and to her if she wanted to get any sleep that night. So she repositioned the child on her hip and set off quickly, walking with determination and purpose. She took the most direct route possible, maneuvering only around larger puddles and patches of mud that caused her bare feet to slip. The darkness pressed in, thick and alive with unseen things. Their eyes flitted from shadow to shadow, tracing shapes that might be nothing, or something that was watching them back. On the cool night breeze, they could hear the grunts of elephants and other creatures out there, somewhere. The ground sloth walked cautiously through the night, sweeping its short and stocky neck from side to side, scanning the area for predators. It had a slow and peculiar gait, almost like waddling, because the rear feet turned inward. The front feet had 3 long claws, which were also curved inward, creating the sloth's distinctive crescent-shaped tracks in the ground. Its long, shaggy fur fluttering in the breeze, the sloth slowly walked over the path of the children. It stopped immediately. It sniffed excitedly. Danger. It could smell a predator. With a grunt, the sloth heaved itself on its massive hind legs, awkwardly twisting its bulk around like a dancer without grace, scanning the area with clumsy, jerking movements. But there was nothing there. No danger. The sloth lowered itself back to the ground and continued walking westward across the flat. About halfway on their journey, the little girl started to fidget. She needed to pee. Of course she did. They were racing across the valley on a rescue mission for her doll in the middle of the night, and there could be any number of big, scary animals with sharp, pointy teeth stalking them right now. Of course, this is the perfect time and place to pee. The girl gently sat her little sister on the ground next to her. At the very least, it also gave her a chance to catch her breath. The short break over, the little girl climbed back into her big sister's arms, and they headed off again. A few minutes later, a hulking shadow lumbered out of the darkness. It was a large, lone Colombian mammoth bull. The bull sauntered across the girl's tracks. He could smell the children and knew they were nearby, but he was unconcerned and grabbed another clump of grass and sedge with his trunk and popped it into his mouth, lazily chewing as he lumbered off nonchalantly. The girls, meanwhile, had reached the edge of the lake. Immediately, the little girl squirmed out of her big sister's arms and raced to the bush where her doll was seeking refuge. There, among the scrub, the little girl found her favorite doll, safe and sound. Now they had to make the journey back to camp. They could sense the other creatures around them as much as they could hear them. There were mammoths nearby, and neither one of them wanted to startle them for fear of being trampled. The little girl crawled back into her sister's arms, cradling her doll and nuzzling her head into her big sister's shoulder, drifting off to sleep happily. The older girl set off on the same route as before, albeit a little tired and slower this time. She could see that many animals had already crossed their path. Alert, she continued back to camp, thinking to herself that tomorrow she was going to have an amazing adventure to tell everyone.
And now it's time to dig a little deeper. Point of fact. Dire wolves had really large heads, and some paleontologists think dire wolves had a super strong bite that could crack open bones like hyenas.
The largest collection of their wolf remains has been found at the La Brea Tar Pits in California.
Okay, so guys, we've been talking about the tracks at White Sands, New Mexico. Let's talk about the really small footprints now. Guess who made those?
You?
Not me. I'm not that old, dude. Kids.
Kids.
Yes, the majority of the human footprints around all of these animals were made by teenagers and kids. Do you know why?
No.
Well, these societies, they have what's called division of labor. It means that the kids also had to do some work.
So the kids did math.
You know what they had to do? They probably had to go out and collect food and water.
Oh, that would be way better than math.
And when it would be way better than math.
Yeah.
For me, not because maybe the animals,
Yeah.
maybe like the lions.
Yeah, can you imagine having to go out and go and get some water to bring back to your family and having to like dodge a Colombian mammoth? Isn't that so crazy? Or a lion. Can you imagine having to walk out and be like, "Hey lion, I see you over there." Oh, so it's so crazy. So there's this one set of tracks where it looks like there were hunters that were hunting a giant sloth.
That's no way.
Yeah, seriously, this giant sloth, it looks like if you follow the tracks, got up on its hind legs and it was really big, and then it kind of goes around in a circle, and that these people were moving around the giant sloth.
Like, ho, ho, ho,
Yeah,
ho.
maybe they're trying to scare it away. Maybe they're trying to hunt it and take it down.
Maybe like the woolly sloth is in the middle and they go around because maybe then with their spears like pew on the wool sloth.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. And there's this other really cool set of tracks where it was a person carrying a small child, about the same age as your baby brother.
Like 1 year old or 1 or 2.
Yeah, maybe about 1, thereabouts. And you can see that this person was walking, and every once in a while put the child on the ground and picked him back up. But then we could see that right behind this person, a big Colombian mammoth walked right across their pathway. As this person was carrying this small little child right around this big, humongous mammoths.
But did the Cambodian mammoth go over him?
It doesn't look like they hurt the person, no. But you know what's kind of cool about an example like this?
No.
Is that when we look at archaeology and we look at the past, we usually just get a little teeny tiny snapshot. And we don't see all of the other things that went on in these people's lives. And you know, when you look at an example like this, it's kind of like the past kind of coming alive, isn't it? And you can just envision what it was like for those kids your age. Colton, what do you think about having to dodge a lion or a mammoth?
I think it would be fun.
You think that would be a lot of fun?
I would prefer to stay at home and do homework than go out there and dodge a lion.
I am so scared of it.
You're so scared of homework, but not of the
It's
lions.
my worst fear.
Oh, yeah. It's a very different world, isn't it?
Yes.
But those people and those kids, they didn't know any better, did they?
No.
No, that was it. That was their life. And they would probably think that you guys' life, and you know, we're getting ready to go to football practice, and they probably would think that would be a little weird too. Well, let's wrap up here, because I know that you guys have to go off to practice pretty soon. Guys, thank you both so much. Noah, we would love to have you back on. We can talk about all sorts of other fun stuff, okay?
Yes.
All right, I'll see you guys later. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Before Us Kids is written, hosted, and produced by Eric Fisher. Audio design by Eric Fisher. And Ian Lawrence composed the theme song.